Krishna Dharma.
Very handsome man. And you know, yeah, Baba be dinko. Open yes, can say Hare Krishna. Moya Hwano.
Hare Krishna, sumku if a cast a non sectarian chese, Yamaho quines will be and yet say young quan, or say a cast of sumoa, to be acquired to be a may Hare Krishna near Sumbia anywhere bit me. I'm at Miss Midim Jim, and as will be in my home by a non sectarian organization, chese will be and found one fatal womb, and I said, Senior Senior Copuasifa, with my back one in a sunyati near far. Nim dear Ningansa, a free Yankupon Trosemo, a friend of Vedasano. They me tumpon or a problem, and Honkaka, I per se, de bang Yankupono, it's Mississippi. And see, we are a non sectarian religious organization. I have free for in us, Wina Bacan, na young unit Yankupon, near Yankupon, you my dear, snap a bit me, I train her pattern Yankupon.
It didn't Hare Krishna is free.
Hare Krishna dino a Sanskrit word. Hare Jina
Sanskrit
Sanskrit near a kasa. Send a prayer mem Ghana her would tree on fancy or da gumba. Sansona Sanskrit near a very ancient and I said kasa. And Nikru a universal language. It is said Tama Sanskrit by no. Near Nikru Sebia or Ghana or Jamaica, you say no. Those were the ancient times, and only part the whole world was like one big country. And we say the Sanskrit is not universal. It's not only spoken on earthly planets, but on other higher planets also. And I say in the beginning of creation, that is the language people were communicating with. And it is a very ancient language, actually. All the languages not shaving a kind more. Some of the Akan languages you find traces of them in the Sanskrit language. It gives you understanding to say it's kind of a mother language. The universality of it. And I say kasa a free and a kasa almost source free mono. It gives you an idea about that. Inti senya Ghana a wotri ni and maybe by na obi anim twi obi anim dakombo bi anywhere. But then these languages came about culture na you know how to adapt and try to communicate with each other no. But then before that no there were languages now the ancient ones and now one and no more sasi so ansana be no more ka. And then one of those languages is what we call the Sanskrit.
Now if a pa na obe Sanskrit language
Sanskrit language will be a fluent by Nyasasi so because it is now it looks like say a foreign language in our planet, but then in about hundreds of thousands years ago, na kasa we are speaking. So I would say as a person who maybe are fluent and for Sanskrit pa, it would be possibly in the heavenly planets.
Inti riasi will be unkabir.
Obi can Hare Krishna for you can. But then it's difficult to find a particular culture and I say a particular country they speak Sanskrit as a no it's
right.
Senia share you as in one abocosem by an elton say you best swap abocosem na your culture keep things as it is no. Yeah, evolve na culture na society engine no na ye pano maybe good na ye fano maybe so ba. Nti Sanskrit language no so a language so a hote. And to say if purity and what here for more people become less inclined and I say or my corner source some Sanskrit it is no longer there.
Language in a hotia
and what say on say we share linguistics Kasabia the power and I say the kind of notion behind it. For example, ya kasa tria we obi onim tria because nim say akan for because kasa e twi ho like there are different meanings to it. Into your Sanskrit and also from the origin of free bano it requires some level of a kasa purity, a level of a way style of living, any state of mind to be able to appreciate the language as it is. It says here On say to say the language of the airways, no frequencies are it is communicating something, but because we don't have the any receptors na bit me test language airways na they can translating no, we don't appreciate. I guess a computer no general actually much say so similarly the Sanskrit language requires some kind of consciousness level of identity baby to be able to appreciate it and say it actually. This is identity piano a pa and I say sotia the inclination and I say kind of becano and suit me before. But then a body a body more a body a bit to say the heavenly beings and demigod bodies because no more highly conscious and now more brain power near very high now. They still speak this language actually.
My headquarters were here.
Hare Krishna headquarters now India, Mayapur, state of Bengal, and that is administrative headquarters. But then we also have another headquarters in US, and see that is what I can. That is Hare Krishna movements, not start here. But then about the tradition as Krishna consciousness, I would say our headquarters is out of this world.
I was here.
The spiritual world, Yankopon.
Yo, Hare Krishna, maybe so say, Edino, I see
Hare International Society for Krishna Consciousness, but empire tarbo. Ubia Shia, Ubia Trim Betaya, young empire tabo, none a Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I can Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the Kofun, who streets or who to say a radio station, so people here say, are more identified by that mantra until we are being popularly known as Hare Krishna people and Hare Krishna movement. Until Hare Krishna no empire born we are being called by. As I say, who no Catholic ni be no friend a more Mary and I mean something like that. And now who's young criminal no friend Miss Malai Al Rahman Rahim. See the name or the kind of mantra I chant and then people usually identify us by. It is here Dina as Hare Krishna Nankasa and for friend. Hare Jina Homa the energy of God and Yankopon to me strong. Krishna Jina Homa Yankopon I just say Yankopon dear just Yankopon you be or train a body in our batano, the all attractive being and the all attractive God. In the Hare Krishna no 2 words are free Hare Krishna mantra my 6 syllable words 16 words and ye Hare Krishna for Ephraim to which I be I chant Hare Krishna 90 we are being known by that name Hare Krishnas by actual name International Society for Krishna Consciousness into the chairman the top one Hare Jina Homa Yankopon ho aden Yankopon to me and Krishna Jina Homa Yankopon ni din a chese Tramboding in our tunnel.
Into Mono Krishna Chire Unyankupon.
No cray.
Munya Dino.
A dino, it has a Sanskrit origin, since as I am a boy, a Kasaya boy, you know. So you share a dear, idea be a describe it, and I checked there to be a. Say, answer a bit to be a dinner show sooner binding near or any amount honey. Enti Krishna no in the Sanskrit language na chese Nyankopon ehwe Nyankopon ne suban ne ne nwumadi a odi a oyobi a adasa nyina no ehwehwe no de ehwe ne wiase ya ehwe asante ka se mo ya se osi obi ka se oh oyo hiani ohia enti ya Krishna for enti ase ne se so obi ka so obi hiani a enye de woni sika de woni banso ye hiani de woni asomdwe ye hiani de woni apomudi ye hiani enti wo hwa wiase ne nyina hia bibi. Until your person said, Denny here. And to be a face is a canny here, to be a face a baby here, to be a face and when you're here. Because your son of man who says, send here be chance. Into the understanding they say, Nina, we ask him the Indian training I see here. And the understanding behind Krishna they say, Yakupon dear just say, Yingina, that's a Yinano, a Yakupon. And on one Yakupons no you be or side train out that's in our batano. Face will be a shadow. Now, come back in Yakupon soa, now benya in your pair of assassiso, and ne Sassia Brassasiso.
When I reach the and buy.
Hare Krishna church and Yakupon at the buy, and ni nipa onion samana nipa busrimka. And see, I hear the history of the Hare Krishna movement now. Where scriptures, a friend on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one of the oldest scriptures on the entire planet. And see, the Bhagavad Gita, no, kind of chapter 4 now, Krishna Chemu, the origin, the origin of this Hare Krishna movement. And so Krishna, Yankopon Krishna Chemu say, Mrebia, Boni bedosu na basabasa. And so bedosu na nyamesem ebekasheno. Ono Yankopon eba. Samre no ede nyamesum egina nyinaye wo se egina na Nyankopon nyamesum nyinaye pa e mabone nso sote. Inti Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita say say whenever there is a decline in religious principles at that time okacheni adamfo ana na somfo adwuna say do that time ya ono Krishna ba. Krishna na so catch adwuna say sa Bhagavad Gita na Krishna consciousness ma yekan we dey catch the sun god ana yeshe wia your personality also we dey catch the sun god and the sun god catch ne ba and also catch ne ba na wo to as one ba human civilization mo. And see you catch the origin of the Hare Krishna movement na we cannot definitely find say bia this number of time and I say ABC, but we can only say ancient. The Hare Krishna movement was there even before time itself was created.
Say will be the literature and by say two persons Yankupona Bass as is no de
no cre. Religion ya debia nipa intimin kreti Yankupon mra in a said in a religion. Religion I ubi na creating is not religion. Into Hare Krishna movement and Hare Krishna consciousness no. All our foundation principles in is based on Yankopon Krishna Nankasa, then church or betche adasa on one casa basa so. Because to the bia nipa one new media, it is so much say the Lord has to come directly. Okasa say we are not confused Yankopon basa so saying. But then Yankopon born areas now what stops him from coming here? I mean, I just say, yeah, Christian mommy. Let's say if you're as well, bows over pedia. And see, God has every right to come here and do whatever He wants, whatever time He wants, and however He wants. And see, when He sees that there's a predominant rise, and bonia dorsum, Nanyam so a hinta, on Yankopon Bechire, Yamasum Mapa, and a quine public faso a benya, Asumjie, Nianya, Yamador, Nietimea, Triam Wabatin Yankopon ye, Niatian Fribanemo. Into yes, Nyakopomba, and he himself is the original establisher of religion.
Obaha Abrubane.
From the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Beka say every millennium he does appear millennium after millennium. But then the recent appearance of the Lord was 500 years ago, where the Lord came, my friend. Whenever the Lord appears, no, in Sanskrit, where they find technically avatar, and I say incarnation. Until about 5,000 years ago, 500 years ago, the Lord came again to reestablish the principles of religion. Meanwhile, He had already come 5,000 years ago. And He gives an understanding and say, we humans as we are, no, we easily spoil that which we are being given to. Yeah, my idea and China, yes, the quality, no. The 10 holes, it diminishes. There is a need for the original creator to come and re-establish the original doctrine or the Bible. And I could say from based on authority of the Vedas, the last incarnation Yankopon Bai was 500 years ago, which the name he took then was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
I see what you're saying.
He was known by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is a Prabhu, Apache master. And see, Mahaprabhu, which is he is the master of all masters. Nyakupone can say painful in a penny. So Chaitanya, she said Nyakupon, he is Wakumemu, and he is the one who can purify the heart. Only bit master Sakoma, Amakoma, Enya Papano, it's me in Yanayapa. And see, the whole understanding is that no power yet the master of the whole world who came to change or give a change of hearts to the public and to the universe or the world at large.
Into about 500 years ago,
at that time, the appearance was Nadia. Your friend said, in this recent times, the calculator will be around West Bengal, one a capital, now India, getting close to Bangladesh, if you West Bengal. Before baby Maya Nadia, it's an island. That is where the Lord appeared.
Yeah, prophesy. So, Baba.
Yes, the incarnation of the Lord is always a canon of scriptures. No, there's never a time where the Lord has appeared any scriptures anymore. There's no scriptural back into his canon. It was foretold in the Srimad Bhagavatam, say the Lord will appear again. And whenever, like he said, whenever there's a decline of religious principle, and this time around, he will not come as in his fullness as God, because mostly when the Lord comes, he comes play a role as God, everybody sees him as God. But this time, this incarnation, he came to play the role as the devotee and as the servant of God, because the whole understanding was that Obayet so Babe aqua, Yankopon aqua, rather than so Ben Yankopon Cassa, because the whole understanding say, in name Yame, Yankopon, Petty Yankopon, Sissy, or Seven Yame, by your name quiet pass with some Yame. The Yankopon now bite to send Yankopon some for a bet today a sign near or say a fast some Yame. Until it was foretold in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the Puranas were foretold the appearance of the Lord and future appearances of the Lord. Like it is said, this last age we find Kali Yuga, and the age of darkness, the age of Iron Age. Say at the end of this Kali Yuga, and as Kali Yuga way and the Lord will appear again. In the description of Baby Abewono, the name of his parents, the time Abewono, his appearance, everything has been detailed in the scriptures. And when the Lord appears, that gives authority to say he's the supreme personality of God. And also Homa obin to me and claim say he is God, but then he's actually an imposter. Into all the scriptures and the Vedas give accounts to say Yakupon Baba time way ne tibia baba ni even baby obepi amaya wono, all those things, the details have been explained.
Omoka said DNA BC. And did it really happen?
Yes, it did. Even if we look at our Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam, one of our most revered books in the Hare Krishna movement, in the 12th canto, about this ending time, what is going to happen, about corrupt leaders, that people in the town will not be able to afford the taxes the so-called leaders are imposing on them. People will have to run to the villages and try to take shelter because of the high standard of living in the backroom. It was talking about how Nipa tinting beba form, yansa beba form, home beba form, age beba form. All those descriptions have been given, and it gives it's like the whole 12 canton a prediction of this ending times, what is going to happen and all that. Into all those, most of the things we are seeing now has been foretold already in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Until we are guided by those principles. Until when things happen, those who know the scriptures know that this is bound to happen. Until we just see it as it is.